welcome back to the WGLEU. I managed to finally catch a breath and sound less like death. Congratulations, me. And it does take us to the best point of the season. I'm sorry, there's some other good games. Mitch, you did a great job, picking up the slack. That's good for a B team. The A team does get the best game of the season. All right, we get TRN.ROX against Kazna. Don't mute your mic while you laugh, Melly. Don't let him think that you're pretending to be on his side. All right, we have the best game of the season, and there's so much depending on this one game, Ollie.
Yeah, there's absolutely everything, especially for the two teams involved. It's TRN.ROX versus Kazna crew, and whoever wins this will be going to the finals in automatic slot. That's obviously second place. We've already got Team Supreme, who have just reigned dominant throughout this whole season, haven't lost a single game. That was secured on Tuesday when they defeated Synergy 5-1. But anyway, right now Virtus.Pro's going in second place. But if Kazna crew wins, they'll be going. If TRN.ROX, they'll be going. So everything's on the line. Kazna crew's been playing so much. This game's actually a reschedule. It was supposed to happen on Tuesday, but because it's so important, Tornado didn't have their full lineup. They wanted it, so we got rescheduled.
You can't blame them for wanting the full lineup for this matchup. This is huge. Of course, Kazna have had, we discussed this before. Kazna, when it is a big match, they turn up. But then again, my mind goes back to the grand finals. Or,
oh, wow, yes.
And moments like this, and everyone takes a sigh like, oh. But that was their biggest moment.
Yes.
And they didn't come up with the goods. They fell a little short there too, whom went on to, lose out eventually in the end to Hellraisers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But the problem being, they have had some moments where they've slipped up. TRN.ROX still quite new as well. They don't have that deep kind of pool to go back to, that deep knowledge and tactics. There's flaws on both sides, yet there's so much talent as well. It's going to be hard to balance this. Melly, people at home are going to have to make a vote, all right?
Exceptions make the rules first. So the grand finals thing, we're just not going to talk about it.
Ollie will start crying again. Stop.
It was sad.
It was sad. We're not biased, but it did hurt.
Well, they're Europeans. We were Europeans there, so it makes sense.
All right, we are biased. But
I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, maybe it's a good idea to check out the VODs of the grand finals in April, if I'm not mistaken, over at youtube.com/WGLEU and relive that moment. We'll go through it for the first time, as said, if you haven't watched it, and for everyone else, relive that sad moment where Kazna crew was thrown out of the competition.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Yes. Whatever. Just see yourself, Grand Finals 2015 over on youtube.com/WGLEU. And of course, the voting is already open and people are already voting for their favorite teams. People, if you haven't voted yet, head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/WGLEU, and vote for your favorite team. Click the team logo, predict the score, send it off, hope for the best. And currently it's 69% for Kazna crew.
Sorry, what percent?
Wait.
Almost 70.
Almost 70. There we go. The roundup.
Almost 70% for Kazna crew. And
I was waiting for that the whole season, by the way, guys.
It happened a couple times.
Did it?
Lauren
always goes, and it's almost 70%.
69.5%.
It's almost 70%. That's not. I mean, mathematicians round up the numbers, right?
Mathematicians.
Mathematicians.
Yeah, okay.
No, is it a word?
Mathematics?
No. Mathematicians.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for missing one syllable.
Sorry.
No problem.
That's
Mitch
the only
just skip his script straight over them.
Yeah, Mitch,
Screw syllables.
Mitch just makes noises these days. It's just...
Almost 70%.
Almost 70%.
Almost 70%.
Almost 70%. Look up here.
#family show.
As said. So people, as said, get voted. Use the hashtag WGLEU, hashtag family show on Twitter. No, I'm totally broken. I'm sorry.
Perfect.
I'm sorry. But, well, if we go through the voting results, Kazna crew, of course, is the main favorite here. But the audience at home does say TRN.ROX won't give it up without a huge fight.
Yeah.
Do we know the maps as well?
Yeah, we've got mines and steps coming up, so 2 great maps.
Okay, this is going to be good. All right, enough from us. I think we'll come back to this in a second. Let's hear from TRN.ROX themselves over on the video.
Команда Kazna Crew является фаворитом этого сезона, так как они действующие чемпионы, а также призеры последнего гранд-финала. Мы очень хорошо готовимся к этой игре и надеемся на положительный результат.
Yeah, so, my thoughts.
He basically said Kazna Crew are a great team at the grand finals. It's going to be a good match. have fun.
Oh, is your Russian coming along well?
It's coming around.
I've only heard 2 to 3 words often said by you in Russian. Yeah. Not that they sound anything like that. It's very different. I'm not so... I don't know what it is.
You've had a lot of words
family
as well.
show.
Hashtag family show. God damn it. Oh, it's all gone to hell. Anyway, let's stop talking about Tornado.ROX because there's a lot to be said about them head-to-head, which we can get to in a second. Let's flip over the coin and hear from Kazna.
Tornado.ROX is one of the new teams I'm looking forward to the most because it's basically a Russian team and we like punishing Russians. So let's roll out and smash.
So we've had almost 70% and also likes to, you know, get a little bit rough and tumble with Russians. I don't know what's going on with today's show.
From Vetso. It's like, I like to punish Russians. I mean, Kazna crew was, by the way, in Serbian mean wrecking crew, so...
Okay, so maybe that's why.
Punishing crew, I think.
Punishing crew, okay. But no, to be fair, Kazna have been able to do this before. They have taken down some of the giants who previously did run through this league. You know, we talk about Virtus Pro. Kazna were one of the teams who were able to supersede them and overcome them during certain stages. It's not the biggest surprise to see them take that title upon themselves. And then Tornado.ROX, of course, kind of reforming themselves together. A couple of players people will certainly know are going to have to be kept their eye on. Now, Kazna against Tornado.ROX, head-to-head, Ollie. Which way are you calling it? Give me a scoreline and a team.
Well, at the moment, you know, Kazna crew have played Supreme and Virtus Pro, the 2 other top teams, the 2 other top 3 teams. They've lost against both of them. 5-3 against Virtus Pro, 5-2 against Team Supreme. So if we're going to look at that kind of trend, you give it to Tornado.ROX. But this game means a whole lot more than those did.
Head or heart, Ollie? You're not calling it
I
yet.
have to go for Kazna.
Of course you do. He's got his like Kazna crew t-shirt just like tucked under his jacket here. This guy, he's a fan.
It's on underneath.
Underneath, right. You can rip it off at the end if they win. All right. We'll maybe keep the ladies involved for that one. Melly says no.
Screw Channing Tatum. It's all about me.
You are nothing like him. Anyway, into the game we go. Let's focus up here because this is a game that is going to be remembered for some time. Kazna on the attack, Tornado.ROX on the defense, and it is the beautiful mind. Something I'm looking forward to seeing. And where do we need to keep our attention towards here, Ollie, at the very start of this one?
So a really standard start from Kazna crew, just in the middle, just ready to receive any tanks that go towards that hill from Tornado.ROX. And you know, obviously the colors are the wrong way around, but you've still got Tornado.ROX up north with the T-54s heading towards that western side, as they do want to push there and find out the T-37 that's currently sitting there. So let's see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about Kazna crew. They have to win this game. Tornado.ROX have to win this game as well, and they are going aggressive because of that. Yeah,
they certainly are. There's no dilly-dallying about this one, and Zik and the Annihilator are going to be heading across with Vorsic. And it's going to be Hyber on the receiving end, but his play in the LTTB has been very impressive. But Zik already caught out massively. Down to a one-shot here. 1-6-6, I think. My eyes are failing me. I am getting old, but already down so low is a big loss here. But still, a T-37 already in the distance, doing work towards Hyber. He's going to be pushed out of position. He's going to try and make the most of it, but he is now out on a limb. He was outstanding in the LTTBs leading up to this point, but swept aside initially. And already we're seeing a little bit of a back and forward here between these two.
Yeah, I was really surprised Hyber didn't manage to actually get that kill. That would have been very impressive from him if he managed to do it. But Positive getting a little bit of response, but does get taken down. That's the second kill here for now, Tornado.ROX. But Kazna crew 400 HP in front. They are going to start pushing forwards as, well, they have received some damage from the side, and that's the problem. Once those T-54s are behind down south, it's very, very easy to get the shots up north.
Yeah, Negative here is kind of surrounded. That 5100 is in a little bit of trouble. Sure, Schnitzel should go down, but the backup's arriving. Negative will take him down. The LTTB removed. And looking at this one, Tornado.ROX is keeping numbers. Of course, the colors are backwards. Keep that in mind. Look at the names here. You know who Yizny plays for. You know who Vetso plays for. I don't need to tell you that, but Negative and Positive now surrounded, and they are going to just match each other out here. Nexus has the shell ready. He's waiting to make this one count, and he will. That's Positive gone, but the Armageddon gets one back. And look at this fold coming in from Tornado.ROX. They're not going down without a fight. These 3 tanks from Kazna are going to have to hunker down and try and withstand this storm.
I don't know. I think this is going very much the way of Tornado.ROX right now. They got more tanks in the game, and Kazna crew just had to commit down into a worse position to try and take down those tanks. So you got a position where Kopile and Zik are very low on HP, but they're being provided great cover from that northern middle area. So, yeah, I'd say Tornado.ROX ahead, despite the HP advantage. You really need Eurofish in the IS-3 to make some headway, to do some damage against Forsic.
Yeah, this would be quite the task to get it back. And already you can see the pressure that Zik's putting on. Anywhere these boys peak, they're met with sheer force. Nexus being lit up again. T-37 coming in with a little bit of damage. Good work from Vetso there to find a piece of Vorsic, but not much as Eurofish will start to maybe peer out here. Does take 361 HP away, but it's a 2-for-0 trade, leaving Vetso the last man alive. And he knows this one was never going too well, as Zik will close it down and Tornado.ROX get off to a brilliant start here. Very clean victory so far. And that just didn't look good for Kazna. They never seemed they were in control in that game. They made a couple of plays, and it looked like Tornado.ROX had all the answers. Yeah,
Tornado.ROX very aggressive down south. They got that area. You know, Hyber died, but that's not really a massive thing, Hyber going down. It was more down to the fact that once they had that southern area, Tornado.ROX can just punish Kazna crew that just going through the middle. They're doing so much damage against the T-54s, the IS-3s, and you know, Kazna were a little bit segregated. They should have pushed a little bit earlier, should be a little bit more concise. You had a couple of tanks going too far ahead. I think Kazna went into this game a little bit overexcited and got caught out. But, you know, at this point, Yizny, Eurofish, FKK Schnitzel, Vetso, and Nexus should just be able to push onto these two tanks at the same time. But you can see FKK Schnitzel went a little bit early, so that's already two tanks. The IS-3's already fallen as well. And, you know, that only allowed Yizny to do 700 damage and Hyber doing no damage. Should have probably found that shot onto the T-54 when he did drop down.
Yeah, a couple of errors and maybe creeping in, but that's the first round, of course. Things can still change going forward. It shouldn't be just this kind of whitewash game, I hope, for Kazna. It's not. Looking at already what we're seeing from Tornado.ROX, so they look quite aggressive. They look like they want to take control of this game. They don't want to let the likes of Kazna even have a chance to warm up here, but you know, let's say map-wise, who's more favoured on this one? Is there a team that has a slightly better record, or is it kind of negated considering the opponent?
I would definitely say, you know, Kazna Crew has been probably one of the best, if not the best team on Mines this season. This is their map choice. They did extraordinarily well against Team Supreme on this one, coming back from a deficit, going into that tiebreaker, almost going into that tiebreaker. They did so well here. And, you know, I just say Kazna Crew are definitely the favourites on here. 70%, 72% win ratio on this map. Tornado.ROX haven't really played it this season at all. We haven't really seen any rounds from them, so we don't really know what to expect. You know, it's like ASAP in that previous round. We didn't really know what was going to happen. So despite the fact that Kazna Crew have more experience, they have the results, Tornado.ROX has a lot of material to look back on, to see what Kazna Crew likes to do, to see how they like to play, and that's always a massive advantage to have.
And I'm kind of interested if they are going to be a team who'll do that. You know, a team that will look through those, you know, demos and those VODs and anything they can find, any sort of, you know, quick little angle, even just watching, you know, the trip to the Twitch streams of individual players, you see the kind of nuances and what sort of roles they like to play, how they play the positions very uniquely. Each player, of course, has their own sort of styles and ways to play their specific tank. So there's a lot of information out there. Of course, if you guys at home as well wanted to pick up a couple of tips and tricks, the captains have been, or not just the captains, but the teams have been putting out a lot of videos, a lot of content themselves, right? Yeah,
Pro Player Highlights is definitely something you guys should check out. You'll see it on the worldstanks.eu. If you just click on that esports section, you can actually just check out everything to look at. You know, they've got videos there, they've got everything going on. They've also got our social media channels on Facebook and Twitter where you repost everything.
Ooh, speaking of social media, you be careful.
Sorry.
Melly, tell us about it. Tell us about it. Keep him away. He's not got that smoothness to it, right? We need the Melly to tell us how to do it.
Of course, the website is one way to get all those pro production highlights, but of course we're distributing them over our Facebook page as well. So follow facebook.com/WGLEU to stay updated about the happenings of the teams, of the videos they make and create, they upload for you guys, and of course to find your way to their social media appearances. And I can promise you there's a lot of stuff coming up also in regards of the finals, so maybe you really want to follow our social media platforms on Facebook and on Twitter, and of course to see all the production, all the videos the teams are putting so much effort in.
I think it's really worthwhile to get to know some of these players. Of course, you know, some of them are already well known more than others. Vetso being someone that everyone knows by now, or your Elians, or your Apple Wows, people like that everyone know of. But there's a lot of players out there who stream a lot, who, you know, really work amongst the community, and you should definitely check them out. They're always on Twitch TV or, you know, through their own social media platforms.
And of course, for example, Virtus Pro produces almost 2 videos per week, so they also have their non-English players doing videos, commenting on play and analyzing it, but then they put the effort in of subtitling everything for you for the non-Russian speaking community.
All right, awesome stuff. There you go, guys. That's what you can get up to after this Playday. There's still one more game to go, and we're only in round 2, so do not go anywhere just yet, of course. This is the game of the season. Let's see if Kazna can do anything now. They are on the defending side. TRN.ROX already with 1 round behind them on the attack here. Ollie, what are we seeing so far?
So triple IS3, I think that's 1 more than we had last time. So that's going to give Kazna a little bit more staying power, slightly below that middle area. But different start here from Tornado. Tornado not going aggressive down south. You got Hyber in a different position, so you can say immediately that Kazna doesn't want to be caught out by that same tactic twice in a row. So it's a big deal for the Kazna right now, a big deal for TRN.ROX. Again, if these 2 teams don't win here, if one of these 2 teams doesn't win here, they will be going this weekend to join the likes of Virtus Pro to play in those playoffs, and that's going to be a very, very hard task indeed. So a lot on the line. TRN.ROX 1 round ahead, as they do look like they want to vie for the hill.
Well, this is the thing. Whoever loses this gets thrown to the pack of wolves, hungry and a position to qualify to the offline finals. That's what it's all about. And obviously not everyone can. So, who's going to come out on top? Who's going to make their mark here? Already Positive, taking a lot of damage, but kind of equated out Eurofish receiving somewhat of the same. However, TRN.ROX have claimed control of that hill, and is that worthwhile? They took a little bit of damage to get up there.
Yeah, just a little bit. That's totally standard though. I mean, Kazna also received 2 shells onto Eurofish, so this is not bad from TRN.ROX. They've got the hill, a little bit slow, but still got plenty of time to do whatever they want with it. The typical thing to do is see if you can actually find any immediate weakness in Kazna, and then you just head towards that eastern side. So FKK Schnitzel might want to be trying to negate that a little bit. You can see he's very much aware that that eastern side is the normal push out. You can see Vorsic is heading that direction already in his T54 lightweight. Now Kazna, I mean, they have nothing over there. Normally you see an IS3 in J7, J8, just to go hull down, just to make sure you can actually fend off that push. With a very heavy, a very high damaging tank. But Elian going hull down, and I think Kazna's thinking right now, well, we just want to be able to get that hill. If TRN.ROX start pushing off, we want to get the timing perfect to get the hill, to push up there, and just punish Tornado as they do come on the rotate.
Can they do it, though? That's the big question here. Elian, of course, a superstar within his own right. Someone who's been pointed out so many times as being such a big, important player, but can he find the form today? Already we are seeing a little bit of split. I believe that's the Annihilator already heading around towards the east a little, but not too much. The Armageddon there as well. Now this is a bit of a stalemate. Both teams knowing what they have, but you can see Vorsic and Zik trying to get further map control. Yeah,
do they realize that Vetso's in behind though? So you got Yizny, Hyber and Vetso all defending the side. Even a bounce onto the LTTB. That's actually one of the reasons why the teams didn't pick it up, because they thought it was a paper tank. It isn't. It can bounce a lot from that frontal armor. It's very strong indeed. But Vetso is found a little bit of an awkward position here. They might just be able to sandwich Vorsic and Zik in. Can they do it, though? Look at this fold already happening to the middle. TRN.ROX unhappy with one battle on one front. They want it on several. And already Positive in the Armageddon, getting good damage done towards Yizny and Elian. But over on the other side of things, they're keeping this one in control for Kazna's crew. As Zik does go down, Vorsic is still here, but Vetso's very low. Hyber's not in the best position, but Nexus sitting pretty, should be able to turn the tides. But Vetso might be a sitting duck in this instance, but no, Vorsic doesn't get the shot off. This should be the turning point here. Vetso might be able to stay alive. Finally, they put it together, but look at the fold in the middle. This has gone very badly and not wrong for Kazna. They've got players left, right, and center. Yizny's low, Elian low, but negative. He's going down as well. Surely, in this instance, no, he managed to stay alive. He's on 30 HP. He found Elian. 4 left for Kazna crew, and they are making this one stick. Actually, the Armageddon can actually be soloed by the FKK Schnitzel. The Annihilator actually has to help him out. The LTTP is an absolute beast in those situations, and that's going to force the Annihilator off the hill as the Armageddon is down to 1 shot. FKK Schnitzel easily finds that, and Kazna crew are slightly ahead in terms of tanks, but the Annihilator needs to get off the hill. Great work from the Annihilator, taking Schnitzel on the way down with him, but it's to a 3v3. Kazna looked like they were out of this, but they pulled it back. Nexus, Hyber, Yizny against Positive, Negative, and the Annihilator. TRN.ROX do have a HP advantage here, but which way are you thinking this one's going to go? I would say TRN.ROX have the better position. They've also got more HP. You can see a Positive can take 1 shell from Yizny, Nexus, or Hyber, so he can go in first. Have the support there from the Annihilator and Positive. But he just receives a shell. That's very bad news for TRN.ROX. And you've got to remember, Kazna crew on the defensive side, but the Annihilator comes from an awkward position. Easily finds Yizny, and that's going to put it onto a 2 versus 3 situation with still quite a lot of time towards TRN.ROX. Yeah, TRN.ROX have got time to do this. The Annihilator is heading in
slowly but surely, he's down towards the south, as you said, in that awkward position, sneaking his way there. LD Nexus and Hyber have to be so careful with this one. They know they're in trouble, but they are on the defending side. But can TRN.ROX pull this one through to a 2-0? Or will Kazna backs to the wall be able to do something? Annihilator has so much HP to work with, though. Nexus would have to pull off a bit of a monstrous moment here. He can't peek out, though. So tentative at this point. Annihilator makes a shot. Hyber finds negative. It's down to a 2v2 here. Hyber, even if you can't see him, he's just off towards the east. Positive's moving in. The Annihilator closing as well. Nexus makes his shot, he lands one, but can Hyber finish the deal? He's going to peek off for this. Positive might be waiting for this one. And oh, Positive turns turret towards the Nexus. Now Hyber 1v2. This has gotten extraordinarily difficult. He's had a very quiet game in comparison to what Hyber can achieve sometimes. Accuracy not exactly his strong suit in this. Only 3 hits out of almost the 20 shots. But 2 shots here might be able to define a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I think Nexus should have done a little bit better there. He could actually have a little bit room going forwards, but he doesn't manage to do it. And now Hyber in awkward position against Positive. This should be pretty easy stuff for Positive. Will he find the shot? No, he doesn't. Annihilator will have to make it.
They both fluff it there, but as you said, the Annihilator picking up the pieces and keeping that one just about in check. 2-0 to TRN.ROX. But that was a lot closer than round 1. It's getting closer here, but there's got to be a cutoff point. TRN.ROX already have 2 rounds. Kazna crew yet to really make their big impact. They always look like they're trailing behind. What do they need to do here, Ollie?
It was so close. I mean, it was such a close game. You had a situation where at one point any of those teams could actually win. But the thing is, you know, FKK Schnitzel, he was kind of segregated on his own, so it took it on a pretty awkward position for Kazna crew. You could see the push in here. Nexus joins these 3 T54s. They put 2 T54s on LTTB. They're pushing on Vorsig and Zik, but at the same time, you can see very bad exchanges happening for these IS3s. You got Kopelika in the background doing great damage against Eurofish. You got Elian taking a lot of damage. I just think those shells in the middle to suppress TRN.ROX, to allow Nexus to come through, were just not worth it.
So many small factors going wrong there for Kazna that just equated it to not going so well. They will be switching sides. Melee, how are the votes looking? Because the teams, the people in the audience, at least on Twitch, out there, hello Twitch, have had the chance to now get a glimpse of, you know, how these teams are shaping up today, because we've already seen the difference a map can make, the difference a day can make, but how are they now finding it?
The difference a missing team captain can make.
Yeah, that can do some damage.
I mean, still favoring Kazna crew with 67%.
They've got faith.
So, absolutely. I mean, they just saw the first round, Kazna crew going down, but I think after a second round, the votes will definitely change. But I don't think that Tornado will take the lead in this voting during the first map, to be honest. Kazna crew's fanbase is just too big.
There you have it, guys. You're not voting logically, you're just in mass.
Exactly.
But hey, if it's your favourite team, why not? You know, that may boost them their confidence, that you guys have faith in them to actually bring a bit of a comeback here, because, let's be honest, it's not been the best display from Kazna, considering they're fighting for their place secured in the finals in day 2 as well. Or is it not day 2 anymore? Is it just the place in the finals?
It's just a one-day one.
Okay, so there we go. That's a big difference, to be fair. At least Virtus Pro, if they did make it there, don't now just get to drop out in their initial game. That's a bonus.
Yeah. Virtus Pro will have to fight for it. And they will almost certain, or they will be going into 3rd place to play in the playoffs. So they will have to fight through the pre-playoffs, which happen this weekend. So that's going to be a few more games. You know, you have 2 teams coming out of there. But this is still 2-0. Kazna crew are playing well. TRN.ROX are playing well. Tornado, you know, being such a new team, they've just got a lot of great players in there. And I feel like a lot of players, for instance, Vorsig, the Annihilator, you know, coming from School Bus last season, they seem to have found their place. You know, he had a situation where, you know, a lot of these players maybe were just the ones the other teams thought, oh, maybe this guy wasn't good enough. They had some issues. But it wasn't. You know, they were very, very skilled players. They just didn't feel like they had a good cohesion with the rest of the team.
Well, maybe they found that cohesion they desperately needed here because, as you said, there was actually quite a lot of players who kind of got swept aside, who didn't get maybe noted as much as others. Yeah. You know, when you have the likes of Apple Wow and you know your big superstars, sometimes people do fall a little bit into the shade. So they're certainly having their time to shine now. And if TRN.ROX pick this one up, they'll be moving into that top 2 position, and there's so much off the back of it. But that's if they pick up the whole game, bear in mind. Not just this round. This is only round 3 coming up. Kazna crew still standing in their way, still trying to vie for their place. A little bit of a slow start so far, but it's Kazna crew. They can always turn it around. They can always turn up, and we're back into this one.
Yeah, so game number 3, round number 3 here. TRN.ROX now up 2-0. And, well, we'll of course have the switcheroo. Kazna crew on the defensive side before now on the attacking side. So a lot more for them to do, as they do just get the heal immediately.
Yeah, Kazna not messing around here. They know what they wanted at the very start, and they've taken it. Now, let's remember as well, TRN.ROX actually took more damage than they gifted out. That's negative down very low, and they didn't deny that hill push. That's a really good play to start off with from Kazna.
Well, Eurofish just hit that shell beautifully onto negative. He did great damage there, and that's really put negative in an awkward position. This is the thing, you know. Yeah, okay, on the defensive side, some lesser teams might have better results, but when you're on the attack, you can get this initial aggression, you can get the initial plays, and you can put the other team at such a disadvantage. You've got the whole of TRN.ROX now in a lower ground situation where they really aren't vying for very much. And that's going to be awkward for them to do anything about, as Kazna crew can just make a few peaks, start to look towards that eastern side, and they don't have to worry about the artillery from TRN.ROX, so they've got a lot more freedom.
I like this. Kazna are keeping their options open here. They've got a lot of good map control. They haven't overextended just yet. You guys at home, tweet this one out. This is the game of the season, at least in my eyes so far. Let's see if Kazna crew can do it. You guys out there are their fans. You've supported them. Let's see if they can step up for you as well. But let's see what they're doing now. So let's look at Kazna crew, as Yizny will take prime position on that hill in that T32. They've got LD Nexus, or sorry, excuse me, Nexus nowadays, on that western side by the lighthouse. And what are Kazna building towards here? Or are they just still keeping their options open?
Well, usually when you have a 1 T54 in E2, E3 area, you kind of have the western side push in mind, because if you're going to have something there, you usually just have like, I don't know, an LTTB, or you don't play with artillery. Just Vetso heading across, that's unusual. Normally you have 1 or 2, you usually have 2 or 3 tanks there even, but just 1 tank is super unusual, and Vetso is required to do a lot of work. Does find one to Zik, of course, 2 were applied on him. Elian now going towards the cap, and it looks like Zik is the target. Yeah,
Zik's going to be singled out here. That T37 is going to have to come into play, but still, the T37 can be a real nuisance, but Zik should be able to fall here. Elian's going to find cover from those southeastern tanks, and it's going to be Elian to find Zik. Yizny, though, not able to deal those kind of, I don't know, damaging blows as the rest of TRN.ROX starting to build up here. But look at that HP. They are getting shredded. Vetso finds the T37, and they have got map control and then some. They might lose out on the hill, but they're folding back into this, and Schnitzel can do so much work.
I don't think even they will, because, you know, once Kazna crew has that southern side, they can put the T54s and snipe onto the IS3s that pushing the hill. You've also got Yizny there that can track positive the Annihilator as he heads up there. And, you know, Eurofish is going to try and do as much work as he can. He's in a great position to actually defend this hill as well. Yeah,
Eurofish seeming to know the plan from the very offset to kind of call them in here. And look at the Annihilator. Here we go. That is a tank in real trouble. 44, 32, 24. He might just go down and is just about staying alive. And Yizny going to put him out of his misery, as now just 3 remain. Negative, positive, the Armageddon. And finally, Kazna starting to become a little bit more sharp, a little more awoken. But can TRN.ROX pull it back? Surely not. Not with this sort of HP, not with this many tanks. They'd need something phenomenal to turn this one around. Eurofish going to let a shell fly, not going to find it. Positive still in the dance with Yizny.
Yeah, Positive has got to be careful, but, you know, Yizny is a one-shot on Positive for that 90mm isn't, and he does get taken down, goes the wrong side. FKK Schnitzel gets the better of him in that IS3, and is only negative left in his T54 lightweight. As I say that, Elian Superstar takes him down, brings Kazna crew slightly more even here, 2-1 now, as they do finally put 1 round here on the board.
Finally, they wake up. That's the Kazna that we know and love. Explosive, individually brilliant, and tactically very sound. And that's exactly what we saw. TRN.ROX didn't really get into that round.
No, well, you know, Kazna crew got the perfect start. Good side shots with the T54s, good aggression by the IS3s, and one brilliant shot there by Eurofish, just planted straight into negative in this T54 lightweight, put him into one shot situation. Kazna Crew got on the hill with very little damage done to them, and then they just made the perfect rotate. Vetzer goes around the side, they saw Zik, they took him down, he was in an awkward position, and then, you know, Kopilika tried to do as much as he could in that T37, but Kazna Crew got that southern side very easily, and then, you know, it was already game over.
So, 2-1 scoreline. Do you think that's a fair display of what we've seen so far between these two?
Well, it's super hard because TRN.ROX is just one of my favorite teams this season. They've just been absolute beasts. I really do love the way they play. I love their work ethic. They've taken some great players from like GG Well Played, from the Russian server, you know, Mind, those kind of teams, and they've just put them into this kind of mishmash of teams, and they create this beautiful thing. It's a bit like meatloaf. You just put everything together and you get a fantastic meal out of it, and that's my metaphor to TRN.ROX this season. Let's see if they can actually, you know, bring this 3-1 against Kazna Crew, but that was a pretty one-sided match.
Well, I would do anything for World of Tanks, but I won't do puns like that. But still, Meatloaf
Great
aside,
band, by the way.
It's just like one dude, one guy, and he's not an attractive guy.
He's got like a piano player, I think, in the background, like a synth guy.
just like the synth dude, like little synth guitars.
I think so.
Anyway, of course, this is the point. These guys are battling out for a place in the playoffs, and if you look at how this one's unfolding, there's so much on the line here. As you can see, these are the current playoff teams. These are the teams that are vying for their chance. Now, as you can note, Kazna and Tornado are in this. However, whoever wins this will supersede Virtus Pro, therefore knocking them back down in there. And such a shuffle could come out of today.
Yeah, Virtus Pro are in a really awkward position. They're like forever alone, kind of like we're going to get knocked out by Tornado or Kazna Crew. Yeah. So I think they've accepted their fate. And even if TRN.ROX get even TRN.ROX or Kazna Crew get a tiebreak here and just get 2 points on the board, Tornado will be able to overtake them. Yep. But, you know, I guess they could stay in third if Kazna Crew gets 24, but then again, Virtus Pro beat Kazna Crew, so Virtus Pro would stay in second place. That's super unlikely, but it could be a possibility if Kazna Crew win the tiebreaker. I
feel bad for any admins who have to deal. If this goes like a little bit skewed and like a team picks up, you know, like this certain victory and it throws it into this sort of instance, I'm so sorry, admins. We apologize. But still, outside of that, there are teams fighting to stay in the WGL as well. And they're just as valuable to this. And that's going to be coming down to maybe a little bit more towards the later game, but also they're going to be focusing on trying to make it towards a higher seeding, maybe into that top 6.
Yeah, ASAP were fighting earlier today to stay in the WGL. Of course, 12th place gets automatically relegated. The rest of the teams go into the relegation tournament that will be happening in September before, of course, the finals. And yeah, the last, obviously, piece we have to go through is that finals, which will be happening mid-September, 19th of September. So you have this thing where we got all this to do. You know, we got a lot of World Tanks ahead of us. So we got this whole weekend to play, and then we got a little break to relegations. We see who's going to join us into the into Season 2, 2015-16. I got a funny feeling, looking at Silver Series, there might be a couple of changes as well. But on the whole, I think we got a lot of strong teams this season, which could make it hard for them.
I agree. I think the season has showed some real talent here. We'll see if they can stick it out. That's going to be in the upcoming days. But still, let's turn our attention to this game as we are live into it. And let's not miss any of that initial action as already. Kazna Crew building back into this game. 1 round from the previous against the 2, though, that TRN.ROX picked up initially. But Kazna on the attack, playing it a little differently this time. Yeah,
Kazna Crew went straight for the hill. But you can see TRN.ROX are very much vying for the hill at the start. They got the 3 T54s, so both teams are aware of what they're going to do, aware of what the other team are going to do, and making sure they counter it to the best of their ability. You got Elian in that normal position for artillery. Eurofish is getting himself into a bit of a position, probably in A5, just to shoot down straight onto the IS3s and T54s, which Kazna Crew has pinned in there. Now, Tornado has to be careful, because if they don't move soon, the artillery will start working.
Let's see, keep your eyes on that. Already Positive is vying forward, veering into the opponents, but Kazna sending him back. But look at this, they are making it to the hill at least. Nexus takes a lot on the go, and already this is looking a lot like the round that Kazna won, but on the flip side. Well, the thing is, you know, Positive just peaked then, so Vetso and Nexus wouldn't shoot the T54s. It's a lot better if your IS3 takes damage than if your T54s, which are getting a really advantageous position, actually get damaged. But the thing is, the T54, which is over towards that left side, hasn't been spotted. TRN.ROX don't know it's there, and Kazna Crew are reacting pretty quickly to this position, pretty quickly to what Tornado did, which is, of course, push that hill. You got Zik, though,
is starting to make his way back to the base, very much aware that he has to defend the Armageddon.
They know what's coming. They have to be prepared for this. As you can hear those sirens begin. Who's going to come out on top? Already Kazna ahead slightly in HP, but position, you'd say, arguably, TRN.ROX is high, but once again veering forward. Going to be looking to maybe get Zik down and out there very early on, and the engagement towards that southern side is kicking off. It's a 2v1 against Zik. He's going to back away, but Positive waiting before he goes down. Yeah,
so you got 2 versus 1, but Zik can just head back because he's got the T-54s and possibly the IS-3s. Support from that hill. So I would say, Kazna has got to be very careful with the peaks. Oh, but that's a shot, Kazna are waiting for, because if you can keep a T-54 in a position where, the great arc from the M44's howitzer can shoot, you're going to be in deep trouble, and that's what Zik just experienced. And that's across map, bearing in mind. Eurofish is in A3, Zik K3, maybe K4. That's a long old distance to travel across and still get this damage done. Hyber in a good position as well, though. He can be a linchpin here if they can create the crossfire to hold back Negative and the others. If not, he's a little bit of a liability, but still, the cap's still continuing here. Yeah, Elian just playing very riskily. Then Hyber went for the easier play there, just heading to low. To that lower ground, but Elian went straight across the middle of the map, and 2 IS-3s were lurking. One of them does connect. Elian stops to make sure that bulb goes out, as the FKK Schnitzel does eventually need to get reset as the M44 makes its way across the map. Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit worrying, hence why Vorsic is starting to peek out, but the cap's still continuing. Nexus is getting some good damage in, sending them packing a little bit, but shell by shell, TRN.ROX are getting quite low here. Vorsic gets decimated by Eurofish, and once again, the artillery reigning king on this map. Yeah, Eurofish is just an absolute beast. Artillery is the name of the game on mines. It was in SEM 42, it is now in SEM 54 as well. And now look at the time. 2 seconds remain. Positive gets picked up on the way down. He did get the reset. Schnitzel did get connected upon, but still, that doesn't matter. Kazna have such an advantage by this point, and the Armageddon taking so much damage as well. He's down to a one-shot here. Zik's low. The Annihilator, and I believe the T-54 left with him, having still a little bit of play, but nothing compared to Kazna. It's all on Yizny right now. He's in the center of the map with a lot of HP. He's got to keep the Annihilator crossed off, make sure he can't peek against Fetzo and all the low tanks of Kazna crew, as these 3 do want to overmatch onto Koplik. Let's see what he can do here. Already getting pounded down. Elian's going to find the Armageddon. And, well, the last man standing is the Annihilator, and I think he's going to have to live up to his name soon, as Kazna are closing in. 1.1k damage done, 3 shots hit, make it 4, but it doesn't matter at this point. Kazna are about to close this down, bring it back to that 2-2 scoreline marker, as TRN.ROX unable to withstand. Well, Kazna will bring in. Yizny might just have this shell hit. Bounce comes in. The Annihilator staying alive. He's trying to rack up the damage here. Yeah, he's trying to do as much work as he can, but it's going to be game over, and Kazna crew do make it all evens and bring it to all against TRN.ROX on our first map, which is, of course, Mines. Very impressive performance by both teams, both winning both attacking rounds. A lot of boths in there, but yeah, it works. And what's happening with attackers now, winning so many rounds? It's what we saw on Ruinberg in our first game, and now we're seeing our Mines. Mines a little more even. Yeah. Something you got to keep in mind there. But still, this is something I don't expect to see, especially to the degree we saw it at. The first 2 rounds, it was like, okay, TRN.ROX look confident, they look comfortable, they could probably get a 3-1 off this. Yeah. And then switcheroo happens, Kazna comes blistering back in. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. I think Kazna crew won those 2 attacking rounds, not necessarily because of the map, but just because they knew they had to win them. Like, going into a map, Steps, which is the next map, which they haven't played a lot this season, and got absolutely trounced by Virtus.pro at the beginning of the season, and basically said, oh, we're not playing this map anymore, we're not great at it. Yeah. They knew they had to come back. TRN.ROX, some fantastic Mines attack as well, just breaking down Kazna crew, both teams reading each other like a book, and, it comes down to very specific individual plays. I would say Kazna were slightly ahead just because of that second time which they defended. They got like 300 HP away from winning, whereas those 2 attacking rounds from Kazna crew were very, very one-sided. Kazna came away in that last round with all 7 tanks remaining in the game. That's actually a really good point. I didn't even notice that. But still, Map 2 coming in. Who's more favoured historically between these two here? Definitely TRN.ROX.
As you said, Kazna don't really play this one. This is going to be down to their sheer grit alone. Can they really, just by sheer brute force, get through this? Because it looked like once they switched in Map 1, they suddenly woke up like, guys, we're not going to mess this one up. Yeah. We want to get this. Melly, the people at home, However, are they still sticking with their guns? Are they sticking with the Kazna crew boys?
Yes, absolutely. 75% still for Kazna crew. I mean, 2-2, they came back after a 2-0 deficit. Looked really tough for them at the beginning of the map, but they kind of fought their way back in the saddle. And people, the second map is gonna be great. It's gonna be steps, and if you haven't voted yet, now is your time to get those predictions in, to get your votes in, to see, well, to tell us who do you think will win, who do you think will take this one. Also use the hashtag WGLEU over at Twitter to join discussions of fellow tankers, to tell us your opinion, or if you have questions to our experts, just fire them right away and I will ask the two of them for the answers. And as said, we'll be heading into our second map after a short break, so don't forget to follow our all social media pages, all YouTubes, all Twitters, and of course get your votes in. People, see you back in 5 minutes.
Welcome back to the WGL EU, and I assume you didn't go too far away, so you haven't missed out what's happened so far. Currently, it's a 2-2 between Tornado.ROX and Kazna here in one of the final days of the online season.
Yep.
This is a big match, of course, and we now need to discuss Game 2 and Map 2 specifically. Coming into this, as you said, this should be Tornado.ROX's map steps is definitely in their favor. But Kazna, knowing now what map they were coming up against, how much work do you think they could have put in?
I think a lot of work. I mean, the thing is about Kazna Crew, they can win on steps. You know, they've won on steps in Season 5.
Yep.
Did okay in Grand Final, even though we didn't see a lot of steps there. I think, again, we didn't see much of Tornado.ROX in Mines. We didn't see a lot of Tornado.ROX here in previous maps, but they did very well on Mines. So there's equal chance that Kazna Crew would have upped their game here on steps just to be on that same level which Tornado.ROX have had. They've had about 60 to 65% win ratio on this map. They've been absolutely fantastic. And I think this one's going to be just a solid game all around.
This is going to be a very hard match for Kazna. They brought it back in the previous game with those 2 rounds back-to-back on their attacking side. But you guys at home have faith. You guys are still sticking with Kazna Crew. Melly, if they want to get those final votes in, can they still do so?
Absolutely. As soon as the second map starts, the vote will close down. So hurry over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get your votes in. As said, as soon as the first tank rolls out on steps, it's over.
Exactly. And well, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get ready for steps.
Steps, the most open map of the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually unfolds the attacks from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light setups, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret, and even SPGs.
Welcome into Map 2 here, one of the highlighted games of this entire season. 2 teams vying out for that second place to get qualified through to the grand finals instantly here from this season. But who's going to pick it up? Tornado.ROX are on the defending side in red, Kazna Crew on the attacking side in blue. And already it looks like, well, Kazna has a plan in mind. Yeah,
so Kazna Crew just going straight aggressive towards the west side.
Jesus.
The interesting thing, though, we've got, yeah, I mean, full T32 stack from Tornado.ROX. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Here's the thing, right? We've seen this being broken down. We saw this on Tuesday. Can't exactly remember which team it was, but they had the full T32 stack, and it got broken down slowly but surely. You can see Eurofish in prime position to do that. But at the end of the day, when you have so much hit points, so much armor, you're going to have a lot of time to wear them down slowly but surely. So you can just have one tank scamper away all the way down to K1, and suddenly you're absolutely screwed. So Kazna Crew, first of all, they need to get the spots onto these T32s. Second of all, Eurofish needs to hit something that isn't the turret or the tracks of the T32, which is no mean feat. It's such a hard tank, despite its size, to deal with when you're using AP on artillery, and, you know, HE just isn't worth it with the M44.
All right, Eurofish, you came up big.
That's why he shoots Vorsic.
Yeah, came up big the first time. He's already starting to do pretty darn well in this one, getting Vorsic down to 7, 5, 8, and as you mentioned, perfectly playing out the plan that Kazna Crew have in mind and the way Eurofish can break into this matchup. But of course, there is still so much HP with Tornado.ROX. There is a massive benefit to having this many T32s, just so boisterous. But as you mentioned, they can be broken down. We've seen it before, and we'll probably see it again. But if Kazna Crew can't do it, if that time runs out, oh, beautiful amount of damage. Zik just getting melted there as well. This is brilliant stuff already. It's such
an awkward position there Eurofish has. I mean, we haven't seen it this season so far. He's really close to Tornado.ROX, and he's actually got good side shots. So basically his position has the exposed side of Tornado.ROX, which are now aiming towards the cap.
And the Armageddon, look at this. Yeah, I really want to go to his perspective.
They're all side shots. If you look where Eurofish is, he's just shooting in the perfect positions onto all these tanks. So 3 shots for 3. If we could just head over into Eurofish's position, we can see exactly his angle onto where
and look at that damage, 1.2k already. That's massive. With 4 minutes remaining, he's already damaged the Armageddon, Vorsic, and Zik. This guy is being a beast at this point and being so instrumental here. But Kazna needs to play defense as well. Hyper can't let the Annihilator pull through. Anyone start going hunting out for him. He needs to be able to stay alive and viable here so they can keep that cap going.
Yeah, he might just put the pressure onto Tornado.ROX to rotate, and as soon as they rotate, you know, it'll make Eurofish's position very, very awkward indeed. You know, Hyber's in the position right now to say, okay, Eurofish, I'm here to protect you. Elian, I'm here to protect you. And if we see any rotate from Tornado, we're going to be immediately to help you and get you in a position where we can run you into the A1 position down to B2, those kind of areas. Now, you got a cap on the way from Kazna crew, and that's forced TRN.ROX up north, as I think you'll see a push come out eventually. Yeah,
they're going to have to. They had so much to work with. They had, you know, all the HP, they had all the, you know, the battle tanks there, they had everything they wanted, but they haven't been able to put it to good use here, as we said, Eurofish just piling into them, shell after shell, and the rest of the Kazna crew hasn't really had to do much. Hyber had to play a little bit of defense, as you mentioned, to try and stop them getting there, but already negative taking a shell. The cap just continuing through, but it's not their main focus, and, well, you know, Kazna crew has so much time to work with here, but they do need to start looking towards that end goal.
Negative just untracks himself at the perfect time. Eurofish managed to get away, but FKK Schnitzel gets found out eventually by Koplika, and then the 59-16 does back away. That's good damage there for TRN.ROX. Sick damage from TRN.ROX as FKK Schnitzel does go down.
Yeah, Zik saw the opportunity, and he's not going to turn that down. Not at this point. Bearing in mind, that's just about evened up this scoreboard. 6,220 HP towards TRN.ROX against the 6k of Kazna. Add into that fact, of course, those T-32s add a lot of HP overall, but still, even up very nicely there. And now let's see where Kazna crew take this one.
The Armageddon just gets another shell there on his track in the T-32, but that's a really good pickoff. Koplika playing it perfectly. Awkward thing, you know, Kazna crew have to use the T-54, which is a bigger tank than the 59-16, thus has a worse camo rating, a worse camo coefficient, which allows it to be easily spotted. But another brilliant shell there from Eurofish, just hitting them one after the other. The Armageddon, now a one-shot, as so many of the other tanks on Tornado are almost at as well.
Yeah, and Yizny looks like he wants this as well. He's going to be heading straight towards it, just going to go over that crest, not going to just dilly-dally on that one, not going to rest on his laurels, and look, he's going to go further. He needs to be careful though. Zik, Positive, Vorsic, the Annihilator are all there. He might just about make it towards this Defilade. Zik gets punished for peeking. Yizny does make it out alive, but Vetso as well. This is dangerous from Kazna. They're taking a lot of damage from this one. LD Nexus is going to go into the battle, and it looks like they want to finish this here and now. Nexus does take a little bit of damage towards the opponents, but look at this. Vorsic finds Yizny. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but Kazna needs to be careful here still.
Yeah, they definitely do. You can see the great focus fire from TRN.ROX is one of the reasons why they've been doing so well this season. The T-32 just snap their turret around and just destroy Nexus, or destroy Yizny there. Now, this is good though still for Kazna crew. Vetso comes in with a kill as they do chase after the 3 remaining tanks from Tornado.
Yeah, and that T-32 certainly not known for its speed, to say the very least. He'll be caught up, tracked down by LD Nexus, and Koplika trying to make a run for it, but there's Hyber, there's Eurofish still. Hyber's a little low, but Vetso should be able to save the day here if they get a little bit lower than desired, but Elian pulls it back together, and this should be a clean victory. Kazna crew showing exactly what you can achieve with a player like Eurofish on point, and I can't wait to see what his damage was at the end of this. 2k hits. Oh, that's unreal. That's 50% accuracy on that one. 2k damage, and he single-handedly made that game work for them.
Yeah, this is the thing about artillery. Every artillery player knows that they don't win the game on their own because they're not in the battle. What artillery does is it gives your team an advantage for them to go and use that to win the game themselves. So you still had to have a fight there. You saw the 3 players from Kazna crew have to go around the T-32s, go in at one at a time, make sure, they're getting the T-32s at awkward angles. So they still had to have that individual brawling ability. But that's the thing, Eurofish gave them the opportunity to make those plays, and that's exactly what you want from the artillery player. I mean, this is a man, you got to remember, in Freefall in Spala, who was, and in TCM Gaming last season, who was that guy who was going in for the brawls, with a T-49 the whole time, trying to make the close range plays, now playing far away in that artillery for Kazna crew. It's fantastic to see that role change.
It just shows so much variety to this team, and pretty much why their skill ceiling can get so high. They have so much variation they can depend upon, and then you add in the Vetso, the Elian fact, you add in these other superstars, Hyber as well having a great season. There's so much going for this team when it all comes together, and even with the language barrier we thought could have been a problem, clearly superseding that, working through it, and well, as you can watch this going down. At this point, it was still fairly close. Yeah,
it's very close. You can see Vetso and Yizny just having little peaks. Nexus just joins in with the fun as well. And TRN.ROX, they don't do badly at all. With those T-32s and the 90mm, they have such good reload. They can just destroy these T-54s one by one by one by one so quickly. They have no idea what's even hit them. And it gets extraordinarily close on the timer as well. You can see, as I said at the beginning, the T-32s, a lot of armor, a lot of HP, a lot of time to give Eurofish to take them down to a low enough hit points value for them just to push in. And Kazna Crew only had about 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds before that game would have been, of course, a win towards the defenders.
Yeah, time being a huge factor in that one, but 3-2 being the scoreline anyway means that Kazna do take the lead, and that's massive coming into the next round. If they can convert that again, you guys at home maybe were voting the right way all along, and we doubted you. Who are we to know better? But Melly, the people out there, are they starting to even come together more? Because I assume the votes have closed now.
Absolutely. I mean, the votes are closed, and for everyone that just tuned in, the votes will close. Our team votes will close as soon as we head into the second map of every match. The team vote is 4, and it stopped at 75% for Kazna Crew. Usually we have that evening out over the course of the vote, but this time it's stuck around with Kazna from the start till the very end. And people, if you haven't voted yet, well, the team vote on Facebook is sadly over, but another way of getting involved is of course our hashtag WGLEU over at Twitter. And please don't forget to follow our Twitter account as well, because there we're keeping you updated during the matches. Even if you can't follow the stream, we give you live updates about the happenings, and of course about anything else that happens regarding our teams, regarding our matches. And currently I'm checking to see how many people actually predicted a match over the full distance, and it's surprisingly very few.
See,
That's not what I expected, to be honest.
But then again, as Ollie pointed out, a lot of people have seen Kazna losing out in these kind of 5-2s, 5-3s, not going all the way to the deciding map. Maybe they're just trying to keep in with the results that they've seen before.
That could be one reason. I see a lot more 5-3 predictions, to be honest.
Who in favour to as well? To Kazna?
Kazna.
That's very strange, isn't it? You'd assume they'd put it to TRN.ROX if they were going to vote that way.
Yeah, I mean, TRN.ROX have been like the tiebreaker queens. You know, like they've had
5-3. 5-3.
Yeah, but
that's not tiebreaker.
Yeah, but I mean, they have been tiebreaker queens. Yeah, like
True.
they've been the ones to bring it all the way. Like in Kazna Crew wins, they're like 5-2 most of the time.
I actually made a mistake earlier.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a tiebreaker. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
A lot of 5-4, 5-0 endings in both ways.
Okay.
In both ways.
So
almost equal.
Oh, all right, that gets interesting. Now you guys at home not wanting to call it just yet, keeping your options open still, and they're just so hard to decipher between these two teams because you never know who's going to really come up in this map. Because we saw initially that, well, on paper, Kazna should never be able to play to that sort of caliber. But then again, when you get Eurofish playing the way he was, and you're getting these boys hitting their shots, you can't deny it. When it comes down to player skill like that, it can just work out. But then longevity is the next factor. Can Kazna keep this up, Ollie?
Yeah, but you know, they would hate to get a tiebreaker. They got 22 points. If they win a tiebreaker, they get 24 points. They lost against Virtus Pro in the first match of the season. So they would go into that mini league and Virtus Pro would come on top, which means that Kazna Crew wouldn't have a chance of going to the finals, as TRN.ROX would have 25 points and they'll be bumped down to 4th place. So they stay exactly where they are right now. So Kazna needs to win this one 5-3 at the very worst, and you know that basically means that TRN.ROX can only win one more round. Two more rounds, sorry, of course. 2 more rounds. 5-4 would be what Kazna Crew is aiming to avoid. It doesn't matter if Tornado or they get that. But at the moment, you got Tornado going towards that, Kazna even going towards that right side, T54 in the middle to get supported. Again, you got Eurofish in the background. A little bit unusual that the artillery's been picked up for the 2nd time in a row. But we do see it occasionally, and of course, you know, such work from Eurofish last time, but yet very little change from TRN.ROX's lineup. They still got 3 T32s. Yeah,
really sticking to their guns on the T32s. Not sure if I like that. You know, considering they got outdone before by, you know, Eurofish being in play, I just don't see why they're going back to this sort of idea. But hey, they've switched up as well. The Annihilator now going to be boosted in towards that northeastern position, up towards the mountains. Positive and Vorsic there as well. And it just gives Kazna the opportunity to now move up, get a little bit more control towards the north, and see how they do.
Yeah, so everything slowed down a little bit. Kazna Crew do look like, as you said, the northern play is where they are going towards. You got the boost there from the Annihilator up and towards that A9 area. So very clumped together TRN.ROX on the defense. Kazna, so far 2 minutes used just to see if they could poke that right side. They still got Ely in there, so they've got that control if they want it. Eurofish still playing, and you can see straight away that TRN.ROX knew that their peaks in the T32, the totally standard peaks they've been doing the whole season, was the way Kazna Crew got that initial hit points advantage because the T-32's a massive tank, got spotted over and over again, allowing Eurofish with only 15 seconds of reload on their M44 to punish them over and over again. That's why they're not peeking. They're just keeping one forwards. That's negative, and that's a positive shot from Eurofish.
Already doing great damage here. And look at this again. Kazna just starting to already whittle them down, and it's a brilliant start. Kaplika not been able to hide out in that 59-16.
He is hiding. He's just getting
Is he getting blind shot?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought he was spotted then. Poor guy. Absolutely gutting. We've seen how pivotal positions like that can be. The amount of times that teams get, you know, completely spotted out throughout the entire game. But not the case here. He's down very low, down to 93 HP. So one more shot towards that direction will give that position away, but the T-32's a bigger focus right now. Negative being already a little bit lower is going to maybe ease some of the pressure away from Kazna.
Yeah, so obviously the next objective for Kazna Crew is to take down Koplika. I'm not sure exactly if they realize he's there and if they can do anything against it, but Hyber as well on his own. He's got a bit of support from the background. He's got a bit of support from Elian, but does receive one. Got to go back. That's that bush just not giving him enough cover. But again, Kazna Crew need to find that spot onto Koplika if they want to win this game. If they don't, TRN.ROX are going to be able to keep them at bay, keep them subdued, and just play their standard gameplay.
Oh, Vetso having none of that, going to go straight in for that one. Pick it up, take him down, and regain control of that northern side to a small degree at least. And the cap has been started. Let's bear in mind here, Hyber and Elian both getting a little more pressure this time as well. Zik does receive at least one shot, but Kazna just seem a little more in control here.
Yeah, but the problem is, you know, time is of the essence for Kazna Crew. They've done a lot less damage than they did in the previous round. The damage has gone towards TRN.ROX, despite, you know, of course, you got the T-32s, but positive in Vorsic.
Oh, this is Hyber on the run. He's been caught out, pants down around his ankles. He might just about make it away in towards, well, Elian's loving arms, but here we go, positive in Vorsic. What can you do with this one? Two shells back-to-back. Hyber, he's in a real dire situation. He's down to watch off, full HP. Positive gets a little bit of damage, but Vorsic will finish off Hyber, and now Eurofish is looking more and more vulnerable. Elian falling back in to try and help out, but the rest of Kazna are so far away. They're trying to pile down south, but this could be the linchpin that breaks this defense from Kazna.
Yeah, it was such an obvious move from TRN.ROX. You know, they were making great peaks against Hyber and Elian the whole time. It was only a matter of time before they decided to push in. Great exchange there for TRN.ROX. Just two brilliant players getting into their own as they do get caught for one on the cross. If that second one did connect, it would have been a different story. But Kazna Crew are scrambling to try and do something with this push.
Yeah, Nexus being held up as well. Yizny gets two on the go. This is not going well for Kazna. This is looking scrappy. They want to catch out Positive and Vorsic, but they're already into cover. They're already hidden away. The Annihilator's there. Zik's there. They're all watching this. They know what's going on here. And up in the north, one T-54 is just trying to make a play, but it doesn't matter. Look at this. Vetso receives two, and every single angle Kazna tries to go to has so many tanks waiting.
Yeah, just individual mistakes from Kazna Crew, just not doing anything. And great play from TRN.ROX to go in to make the plays that just put Kazna Crew at a loss right now. 1 minute and 25 seconds, a lot less HP and better positions for Tornado. It has to be their game to win right now.
Kazna are in dire straits. There's no two ways about it. TRN.ROX should be able to close this one down. Next, though, does find Vorsic, but it's not game-changing. Only 1 minute left. They're closing in towards these boys, but they have to ring the scrap. And look at Schnitzel, outnumbered, outgunned, and out of the game. The Annihilator will find him, and look at the tanks remaining. We've got the M44 of Eurofish and 3 other tanks. That's it, make it 2 others as Elian already goes down, and the T-32's starting to close in towards Kazna. Yizny makes a go of it, but this is looking dire for Kazna.
Yeah, Kazna Crew really can't win this one at this point in time. They just don't have the time to do it. Eurofish would have to do extraordinary work. I mean, if he finds Zik, it would at least put them in the game, and maybe some luck from Vetso, from Yizny and Nexus would give Kazna Crew away, but still, TRN.ROX about twice as much hit points, and you know, just 3 combat tanks in the game, and of course Yizny and Nexus are not particularly healthy at this point, especially Yizny, down to almost a 1-shot.
Yeah, and Yizny's the one going hunting here. He's going to find Zik a little bit. Nexus there, peeking out. He's going to have the shell soon. Zik down so low, but not low enough. The Annihilator taking a face full of damage, but can they pull it off? It looks like TRN.ROX are falling like flies. Yizny and Nexus do suddenly bring this back, and Kazna are back in the game. Armageddon, though, sitting so healthy. 2 seconds left. They cannot do this in time, and the time was the biggest factor as TRN.ROX will close down the game.
And the Armageddon would have been able to solo those 2 T-54s anyway. He was on 100% HP. those T-54s would have to play out their skulls and not in a close quarter situation unless the Armageddon really does screw that one up. So it was Tornado.ROX's game the whole time, despite the fact that Kazna Crew played some great tanks to get back into that one. You know, Eurofish did 2.1k damage at that point. I think, obviously, the biggest problem was that Hyber got taken down early on. Great aggression by Vorsic and Positive just to go forwards, to know they were winning those exchanges against Hyber and Elian the whole time. Just push on, find Hyber in an awkward position, know that he likes that bush, and just take him down. You can see the reaction from that move here from Kazna Crew, just pushing across, trying to make something work for them, as they knew Tornado.ROX had all the cards.
And they ended with all the cards as well. There was no two ways about it, sadly. Kazna just ran out of time, they ran out of options, and ran out of players by the end of it. But still, this brings it back to 3-3. Let's kind of take stock of what we've seen so far from these teams. Who's impressed you? Because we know Kazna aren't renowned for this map.
I think they're both playing well. I mean, this was such a close round. It came down to a 2 versus 1 situation with 1 tank very high and 2 tanks very low. That's not unusual on its own, but it just shows you how close these two teams. Again, Kazna Crew can't afford to go into a tiebreaker situation. Tornado.ROX can't afford to lose a tiebreaker situation or lose right straight out. So they need to win this next round. Kazna Crew need to win it, because if they don't, they will not be going to the finals automatically. They'll have to play in those playoffs because of the mini-league I just explained. So they've got a lot of pressure here, Kazna. Slightly better situation for them because they'll be going on the defensive side on steps, which is a little bit easier. You can see Tornado.ROX really didn't have to do much apart from that T-54 move to win this round.
So there's pretty much the lay of the land. Melly, the people at home, how are they enjoying the game so far?
They love it. They love it. I mean, we knew from the beginning that this is not going to be a one-sided affair, that one team stumps the other. Yeah. But it's even more exciting than actually thought of.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, you know, after seeing the start of what we saw on the likes of Mines, I was like, oh, okay, well, sorry, Kazna, but this is kind of done for. But they've certainly turned up, and it's gone better than expected.
Absolutely. And at this point, I really can't tell or can't commit to a winner, to be honest, because they're so even. It's not that like on Mines where a team steps 2 rounds ahead. They're like taking turns. This time you'll win this round, this time the other one wins. People, if you know it better, use the hashtag WGLEU over at Twitter to tell us what's on your mind, to tell us your opinion on this match. And maybe if you have some questions, fire them right away, and I will ask Lauren and Ollie to keep them entertained during the breaks.
Yeah, a little bit of entertainment's always good. But anyway, speaking of entertainment, the teams are almost ready, so we can find out who's going to edge towards maybe actually getting that win in regular time. And of course, speaking of regular time, this is the final Playday of regular time. No other teams will be playing off the back of this. That'll be playoff games. That'll be, you know, a little bit more in-depth games that we'll explain in that show. But however, focusing on this game, both of these teams battling it out for at least making it into the top 2 here. They may not be able to get that first place position, but top 2 is all they need. Then they're automatically through to those offline finals. That's what they need to do here. That makes a hell of a lot, and they get to avoid the kind of pack of wolves waiting to try and vie it out. So guys, let's get ready for this one. 3-3 so far. Kazna now the defending side, Tornado.ROX on the attack, and this is a massive half. Yeah,
so we got 3 IS-3s, 3 T-54s, and M44 from Tornado.ROX. Really,
What?
That's unnecessary. FKK Schnitz already receiving half HP there. And we see some tensions within the team right now. Definitely wouldn't like to be in there, but that's caused Kazna Crew a lot of time, like a lot of time. And definitely put Tornado.ROX at an advantage, having that 59-16 low HP. And, you know, Vetso might get spotted out. As you can see, those T-54s are going aggressive and across.
Yeah, Vetso will at least make it up to that ledge. But that was a really shaky start. What happened there?
I have no idea.
Just something went wrong, maybe team com-wise. That's very abnormal for Kazna. They're generally quite a well-oiled machine, but something, maybe a cog falling out of place. But already, Schnitzel, of course, taking that early damage aside. Vetso received a bit as well, so they're well aware he's in that position. Yeah,
but it's totally normal position for one player to be, a tank to be. It's the most normal position in the whole game. I think the interesting thing is what Tornado.ROX will be doing with those 3 IS-3s. I mean, totally normal to have IS-3s on the attacking side here, pushing straight across to cap number 2. Obviously, Kazna Crew don't have artillery. That's not unusual either. So it's really about the execution for Tornado. They got the three heavy tanks even, sorry, towards that right side, just going to push them across in a very safe position. And that's going to keep them safe. You can see that Kaz hasn't done any damage against the IS-3s. Like, normally the IS-3s are towards the left of Vorsic, which is where Vetso and Yizny can really do damage. But because they went right, they are safe, and Yizny could be in trouble, and he is trying to get out of there.
Let's see if he knows what's coming now. He's been spotted out, but look at this rotation. Kazna heading south through the map. The T-54s are cutting this map in half. They're trying to get as much information as possible. They're spotting out tanks now towards that eastern side. So this could start going better for Kazna. They're trying to take over the kind of initiative here, but Yizny could get caught out in that time.
Yizny's going to get wrecked right now. Like, there's no way he can escape by reversing backwards. He's dead.
Well, it's going to be an absolute ravishing as soon as these tanks make it over here. Yizny turns turret. He knows what's coming, but he shouldn't make it out of this alive. There's two. Well, a third shell did come in from further away, but he does just about make it out alive somehow. But he shouldn't be able to withstand this, by no means.
No, he's not going to be able to withstand the second volley. He's just super dead. And yeah, I mean, this just seems dysfunctional from Kazna crew. Yizny should have reversed. He should have been out of that situation. But at least they have the IS-3s in a bit of an awkward position for this T-54 push.
Let's see if they can make this back up now. This is the point. Kazna crew need to pull back in what they've just lost in the form of Yizny. But here we go. Look at this damage. Nexus and Elian starting to dwindle in numbers, but they make up for it. Hyber comes in towards Kaplika, but that's not enough. They need more here. Look at that HP. Kazna down to 3k. Negative's finding Vet, so they're undoing Kazna piece by piece.
Yeah, this is game over. Kazna crew can't come back from this. I mean, this wasn't even close. Compared to every single other round, like, it seems to me that there's just some issues with Kazna crew on the old team comms, on the voice comms. Maybe some arguments in the beginning, indicative because of the team damage, and then, you know, Yizny getting caught out. Just doesn't look like Kazna crew really had an idea of what they wanted to do on the defense here. And it's going to be super easy for Tornado.ROX to break their backs. And, well, 4-3, it's game over for Kazna crew. They can't make the second place.
This is devastating for Kazna, and they can only blame themselves here, sadly. Yizny getting caught out, then being slow, then being a little sloppy on the team comms, and whatever happened to Schnitzel at the start, none of this is going well for them. Hello. And back into the game. And none of this is going well for them. And obviously not going well for me leaning over the desk either, but what can you do? Tornado.ROX on the verge of picking this one up. Hyber and Eurofish, joined by FKK. Schnitzel know that this one has gone a little too far away.
Yeah, this is, you know, they got to run. This is their only last chance. If they can run for a long enough time, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. But the cap is on the way. Like, they got one tank in there. The rest of them are just going to go and fight. Like, there's just no chance. It's game over.
Yeah, they know it as well. I'd be absolutely gutted. Made it this far and then kind of stumbling at the last hurdle. Scoreline-wise, they needed more than that kind of 1 or 2 point pickup going into those overtimes. They needed vastly more than that. They will be denied by Tornado.ROX here. This is on the verge of being a victory, and one more tank stands in their way. It was the man who got caught out initially by his own teammates more than anything. Schnitzel, sadly not having the best of starts here, and well, an even worse finish.
So, Kazna crew, no chance to go to those finals. In second place, I'll have to play this weekend, which is going to be a joy to watch. Tornado.ROX will be heading towards the finals in second place if they can win the next 2 rounds. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be Virtus Pro going into second place. That's your 3 options right now. So Kazna crew can be spiteful, or they could. It depends if they want to play. Like,
they can have a merciful hand. Like,
they can either play Tornado.ROX in this weekend's pre-playoffs, or they can play. Or they can play Virtus Pro.
Well, there we go. Tornado.ROX do pick up the victory. And now it's time for really Kazna crew to make up their mind. Who do they want to face? Who would they rather not make it to those offline finals if, assuming they win their game? This could be huge. But let's go back to the start of that game, because this is quite curious. In such an important game, this happened at the very start for Kazna, and it's devastating to see. We just switched to it in time, if I'm not mistaken. But you can already see Schnitzel there. 401 HP. Not good at all.
Yeah, like a ram or something. I know. Well, obviously, like, there's some sort of ram or team damage at the beginning. The 580 is the HP of the 5916. So that's two HE shells, I guess.
Yeah, really not good. Don't know how that happened. We're just doing a lovely, you know, rewind when the crowd says bow selector. And what was that? Was that Elian shooting him?
Yeah, that was Elian.
Now, I don't know about that. See, this is the thing. Elian has been when you talk to these players in these teams, you can try and get an idea of what players think about their opponents, you know, how they like to come into it mentally. And every time I've spoken to anyone who's played against Elian, they're like, if we can get him to tilt, everyone else will, and they can't get back from it. I think it was WCG. Yeah. It was Lemming Train or something like that. I can't remember who it was with.
Yeah, you're right.
And Elian just had none of it. He had enough. He was like, well, I'm just not going to play.
Yeah.
Now, when you have a superstar, obviously they get a little bit of an ego alongside it. There's nothing wrong with that. He deserves it most of the time. But that sort of beginning, if it wasn't a mistake, is really quite deadly, considering that was their chance of the the offline finals.
Yeah, maybe there's just some issue there, like between the team where, you know, that Hyber and Elian situation, which lost them the round maybe. The Kazna crew, like, I mean, the 59-16 has no HP at the beginning. 550 HP. You need to keep all of it for those blind shots. You saw, like, the Koplicker in the 59-16 the previous round was left on a slit of the HP, and Kazna crew couldn't blind shot him out. So, anyway, like, we're going to go into our 8th round now. TRN.ROX are now ahead by 1 and looking to finish this one off.
That's it. And now if Kazna... So let's explain this. What happens if Kazna win the game if Kazna lose the game here? So well, if let's say they want to mess with Virtus.pro or maybe mess with TRN.ROX, how can they do so? Well,
Kazna crew have 22 points right now. So if they win, they're going to be on the same points as Virtus.pro. But because they lost against Virtus.pro at the beginning of the season, in that mini playoff, they will go down. But it'll put them on the same points as TRN.ROX, but because they got 1 point on a tiebreaker, TRN.ROX will go up to 25 points, and they will go into 2nd place. So, Kazna have a lot of power here, let's be honest. Let's bear in mind, they have to define their... If they just win this... If TRN.ROX, like, if they lose in a tiebreaker, they get 1 point, which will, you know, like... Yeah, that's going to be game over for them. They have to. That's going to put up to 25 points. So there's really no way TRN.ROX cannot make the finals right now. Yeah, they're pretty much in the best position possible. If they win now, that's the ideal situation. They get enough to supersede Virtus.pro no matter what Virtus.pro do. However, let's see what Kazna crew do coming into this. We saw some very questionable starts, let's say in the last round here. What do we see so far? Well, we've just got Kazna crew just going a little bit aggressive, trying to keep those T54s of TRN.ROX at bay, as the 3 IS3s, Zik, the Annihilator, and Positive head across the middle, and they do receive a lot of early damage. Just what Kazna crew were looking for in the previous round. Do find it here, though. Yeah, this is a good start, but look at Elian. He just gets decimated, down to 182. The old bus I used to take going home from school. Really? Yeah, just a little, a little fact there. And Elian now in trouble. Let's be honest here. He's pretty much a one-shot for everyone on this table. As you can see the Annihilator challenging down. Positive looking for the shot. They're not going to find it for free, though. And Kazna aren't giving this one up. They're still playing this one out. They are still trying as hard as they can to maybe take this away from TRN.ROX. Not give them that easy victory. Make them work for it. But so far, Kazna are actually holding this one on well. Yeah, they are. They're doing good damage against TRN.ROX here, but Yizni's going to get collapsed on by the 4 tanks now if and when Positive does join in, and even the T32 can't stand up to that. Now, there's almost 5 tanks there, bearing in mind Vorsik was round the back, but it will be Positive to pick up that kill. And now look at the HP, once again, evened out. TRN.ROX starting to pick up the slack. Vorsik takes a shot there, and it's just so back and forth here, but Kazna just always seem a little weary. Yeah, this is almost certainly going to be TRN.ROX's game. I mean, it really just depends what Kazna crew and how much they want it. They have nothing to lose right now. They might just find something here. FKK Schnitzel is going to find the Armageddon. Well, that's a bit of silver lining, to say the very least. At least going to get back into that one. He goes down. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Of course, Kazna, though, coming off worse in this, considering, look at their HP here, 1,944. This looks like TRN.ROX are on the verge of closing this game down in regular time. Kaplika does find Elian. Now Vetso and Schnitzel, the last 2 alive. Their positions are known. This should be a walk in the park for TRN.ROX. Looking at the HP here, Kazna did bring them low, but the Annihilator's not going to miss that shot. And now just Schnitzel alive. And sadly for Kazna, they're going to be thrown into the Wolf Pit to try and come out on top. Yeah, TRN.ROX will be going towards the finals as your second C team, and definitely deservedly so. They've put the work in, they've put the time in as a new team, I guess you could call them. They should have qualified for the Gold Series last season, but obviously that issue with some tools being used, and that's obviously going to be illegal, and they didn't manage to qualify. But they came back totally clean, Silver Series, went through that, came back into the season automatically, and fought all the way through and got a fantastic result here, beating Kazna Crew, who haven't so far beaten a single of the top 3 teams. 5-3s, 5-2s, and Kazna turns up the offline finals, and I'm sure Tornado.ROX will be a little bit weaker there, but they have to be scared by them right now, if they even make the finals.
That's the thing. There is still options available. Now, Kazna, as you said, they just seem to be a little shaky towards this season against the very big teams. You throw them against them in the offline environment where everything matters, they turn up. But it's a dangerous game to play to not qualify through in that first and second place if you have the opportunity. And the issues that arose then between Eli and Schnitzel, whoever it was, could resurface, and you could see, gaps starting to appear. Bear in mind, Elian wasn't always in Kazna. He wasn't a mainstay lineup, player. He came into that roster. A couple of the others did as well. Kazna went through that shuffle.
FK
They came
Schnitzel
out.
came in. That was one of the issues.
Exactly. So a lot of these players came in, and they've shone. They've shown some great results, but maybe not grand finals winning champions. They're not quite there for me yet. They look okay, but when issues like that arise against a team who've basically come together in the same sort of form, a couple of superstar players here and there, that's a worrying thought. But still, that's for another time. We know our top 2 now, at least to a degree. And we have to wait to find out who else can qualify through. And, well, that turns our attention towards the final game of the day, Penta against Wusa. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so this is the second big storyline today. If Penta win this, they will be basically toppling Utopia out as, pushing down to 7th place. Penta will be up to 6th place, and they'll have a chance to fight this weekend for one of the other 2 places left in the season. Of course, Kazna Crew will be joining them there, so that you can see where everything's going to be heading. If Wusa lose this, they won't move. They'll stay exactly where they are. They have nothing to lose. Penta have everything to gain. Same position Penta were in against Ding, and they managed to lose in a tiebreaker there. So I hope that Penta's got their homework done. They go into this match and they just make it a clean victory. I mean, Wusa and Penta have been going up against each other since day one. It's their sister team. It's the one they train against the most. And I hope that they got their playbook sorted.
Well, this is the thing. Penta looked great last season. Wusa even surprised us at the start of this season / last. And then they kind of went a little quiet. So this is a big proving point to these boys. Roster changes came in there between last season and this, but still, that is going to be a huge game, and of course that's coming up. But Melly, people out there at home, they got their votes in. They're probably heartbroken by now. All of us are.
Yes,
but,
they're on their way
coping?
of getting heartbroken.
Ouch.
They're already saying goodbye to their favorite team. It's kind of sad to see.
They could still
Twitch
make it to the finals.
Yes, of course. It makes the weekend more exciting, right?
True.
No. But it would have been exciting anyways, because our playoffs are awesome, our whole season is awesome, and all of our teams deserve a spot on final. If it would be me, I would have sent them all to the finals. I would have gathered them all.
If it would be me, I would do
up,
the same. I would just have like a
some
5-day event, barbecue in the back,
that would
have all the
that
boys
would be
there.
awesome and
That'd be
brilliant.
great.
That would be a
Ollie
huge
can
party,
fund it.
right?
Unfortunately, the old esports money is not enough to fund that. So.
Are you saying there's not esports money just floating around in magical air?
Surprisingly, there
Oh,
isn't.
no. I've been lied to my whole life.
I know. Definitely.
Yes, that's how it goes, people. But yes, when will the playoffs start this weekend, Ollie?
2 o'clock CEST.
You've heard it here. That was one of the questions. You can send him in by using the hashtag WGLEU, and you can ask him actually anything. He knows everything about tanks. Challenge him. Do it. So, yes, that was the second match out of the night. The third map, I don't know why I'm confusing match and map. The third match is waiting for us. It will be Penta versus Wusa, and from the beginning of the stream, Twitch chat was chanting Penta, Wusa, Penta, Wusa. So a lot of people have been waiting for this match to happen. And people, it's about time. After a short break, 10 minutes, and then we'll see Penta versus Wusa on Himmelsdorf.